Okay, I'm live and right on time, so you'll have to find something else to complain about. I'll spend a few minutes getting my other computer set up. If you're watching on video, just scrub forward a little bit. Ooh, I gotta fix that color. Hi, Mindy. Let me get my chat here. Yeah, that's some crazy color, isn't it? Hey, Dabbler. Good to see you. I haven't been at many streams lately, but it seems like you've been MIA. Let me see about toning down this color a little bit. That's crazy. Let's leave it there. See if that's better. So I'm going to watercolor today. Hi, Dee Dee. Yeah, that's better. That looks more natural, I think. Let me get live chat. All right, we're good. We are good. So I wish I had a bunch of stuff to show you guys, but I don't because I haven't been shopping, which is good for me. Yep. What else have I been doing? I'll wait until we get more people here to talk about the postage stamp swap. Hopefully we'll get a lot of participation. I think I've only had 4 or 5 people ask me for my address. But it could be that most of the regulars are going to participate and they already have my address. So we'll see. Hi, Barb. Hi, Rachel. Barb, do you like to be called Barb or Barbara? Sometimes I call you one, sometimes I call you the other because I'm not real sure. Hi, Ashley. You're lurking but at work. That's a good thing. I wish we'd had internet when I worked. All I had was radio. But I got to listen to the OJ trial, so I was good. And I just took my medicine, so I might be sniffing for a little while until it kicks in. I forgot it. I usually try and do it the minute Dee Dee ends, so I know it's got a full hour. But, yeah. And for those of you, my preference is Barbara. Okay, well then that's the answer I needed. Thank you. I did put out an August list of Zentangles, and I've been trying to do them back in the Beast again. So that's where I'm at. I have to catch up yesterday and today, but that bee's cool. This is the best watercolor palette, isn't it? I love this. I love it so much. I need to make a new cheat sheet, though, because I moved some things around, and one of the colors that I'm going to need today, I know I have it, but I've moved them around and I don't know which it is, which means I have to take each of these little pans out and look. Oh, what a headache. So one thing I will be doing this week is rearranging the wooden watercolor palette because I goofed myself up. But that's okay. I like doing that, so no big deal to me. Yep. And if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up. It helps the algorithms. And Dee Dee, it was funny because the other day I was out looking for something on YouTube. Didn't know what. And you know how they do the suggested videos over in the right side? On a desktop anyway. I looked over and I thought, man, that looks familiar. And it had suggested one of my own videos, which I thought was really funny. Hey, Kathy Arbor. So I know they go out, and the thumbs up does work, because apparently they go out in people's suggestion, and I wasn't looking for myself. So, yep, you've done it. That looks good, and it's actually yours. Didn't you get a small amount of satisfaction when it happened? It was just like, oh, well, good. At least they haven't ignored me completely, which I wouldn't blame them if they did. But yeah, there's a certain amount of, oh, cool. That's cool. Yep. So anyway, what else is going on around here? It's just been kind of chaotic. It's hot, really hot, and windy. So everything is drying out like 10 times normal speed. So my tomato plant fell over. I just can't keep it wet enough, apparently. I don't know. But anyway, those are life's little problems. If that's the worst thing that happens to me, I'm on it. It's all good. Hi, Juanita. Oh, I'm sure anybody who watches Dee Dee's videos appreciates her art, for sure. And her laugh. I would watch Dee Dee just to hear her laugh. So anyway, yeah, people are coming in. I decided to do the postage stamp swap. And the rules are, it can be any size smaller than an ATC card. ATCs measure 2.5 across, 3.5 down, and this is one that I did last week. I think it was last week. Hi, Devin. Just to quickly show you, it has to have a denomination, which I chose forever, and a location. I chose USA. So you're on a staycation. Yay, Devin. Hey, Tambit. And then this weekend, just because I was actually dusting my stamp shelves that are hanging on the walls, which I should just hire somebody to do it because it's so annoying. But after you look at them, it's just like, oh, I love those stamps. Why don't I use them more? So I got down my mom's Betty Boop stamps and went ahead and did another one where it's still ATC size, but I did 4 up on it. So it can be really flexible, whatever you guys decide. It could be just this one stamp. This card would only count as 1. So you have to submit 5, you'll get 4 back. So it's very manageable. We're not asking like for you to do 20. All you have to do is 5. And I keep 1. So on this one, my denomination was 30 cents. And I did that because Betty Boop was released in 1930. And the location, actually, I had to go look this stuff up. And I found out that Betty Boop was actually based on a jazz singer named Baby Esther. She went by Baby Esther in Harlem. And she was black. But they whitewashed her. So, so I learned a little bit about Betty Boop in the whole process because that's what Dee Dee wanted me to do. And so the denomination is 30 cents, Baby Esther from Harlem. So, and I don't know if these are going to be my giveaway. I have so many different ideas about what I want to do. Hi, Nanette. Anybody else I missed coming in? Yeah, you get to decide. So those are the stamps. Let's see. Do 5, get 4 back. Any size. Include a self-addressed stamped envelope. If you need my address, where to send them, my email is hang on, putting it into chat. Exactly, Rachel, right? Vanna gave me an extra N. I always let them just keep any extra letters that I throw in their name. You can have the extra N. No big deal. Go ahead and email me. I will return the instructions along with my address. And it has to be to me by October 1st. And I will get them swapped out as soon as I can after that and get them back out to you. And it should be fun. And don't sit and worry about, oh, mine wouldn't be good enough, blah, blah, blah. That's stupid, and I don't even want to pretend I heard that. Anything you do is good. And I think group participation is good. Just put yourself out there. Plus, you get cool stuff back for the price of postage. Have you gotten an offer that good anywhere, anytime? I don't think so. So is that all? Did I forget anything? So yeah, I don't know if those will be part of the giveaway or not. I'll just wait and see. I thought of another really good one this morning. I wrote it down, Dee Dee. But anyway, a couple weeks ago when I was showing the books, I bought this book ages and ages ago, and I showed it. And Scooby-Doo said, oh, do that owl. So let me see if the actual finished artwork, where it is. So the book's been sitting here since then. Okay, there's the finished art. And I thought, well, that does look really fun. I'm going to try and do that little thing. So that's what I'm doing today. Big task. Hi, Michelle. Yeah, wish me luck. I don't know. I don't know. And this will be more like the prototype. If I like it and I do well on it, I probably will repaint it on some good paper. But for today's purposes, just to kind of get a feel for it, I'm going to do it. Let me see what kind of paper's in here. I forgot. I think it's just garbage paper. But I think I wrote down. What the heck? This was a paint along with Kathy Arbor. Oh, if I didn't write down what crap paper I'm using, it's probably just Canson or something like that. I could have sworn I wrote that down so I knew. At least I told myself I wanted to. Alright, well, I didn't write it down. Dee Dee's going to shoot me. And this was reverse painting. Yeah, I guess I didn't write it down. So this is just not great paper. But I like this kind of binding system where I can keep them all together. You didn't miss anything yet, CB. I went over the postage stamp swap rules, and now I'm going to start drawing this great horned owl. We'll see how I do. But I like this kind of binding because this is watercolor painting, or watercolor paper, but you can take it out, put the book away, and put it back in later. So I like that. I like that a lot. Did I put that on upside down? Who knows? Crazy, the things you think about. So I'll get the watercolors out later. First, all I'm going to do is try and draw this. And I'll use their drawing. Sorry, the white. It hates the white. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just going to draw along with this. Now, if you're not comfortable with your drawing skills, drawing will improve that, okay? So make yourself do it. This is an oblong or rectangle kind of shape. Obviously, my paper is square, so I'm going to cut off, say, from right here up to there, and go ahead and do the do a square, so I won't do this down here. What's my favorite fountain pen? My favorite fountain pen is Mont Blanc. But you can't afford that. Nobody can. It was a gift. I didn't pay for it. I would never pay for it. Next to that, for inexpensive, or not even, they're not even necessarily like the less expensive, but Lamy. Lamy is really good. I like them. I don't know. They've done such great things with fountain pens that, yeah, any of them are going to be good. Even if you go into Hobby Lobby and buy one of the really inexpensive Schaefers, they're nice. I mean, they've been around forever. You can get them in different nibs, and so, yeah, it depends on what you really like. I have forever been wanting, and it's on my wish list, but I keep talking myself out of it because I have so many pens that I don't use. But I really do want a nice, and I'll put some cash in it. I want a really nice flexible nib pen. And because I've looked it up, it comes up on my Instagram. It doesn't matter where I go. If I go to Facebook, which I don't hardly ever do, Instagram, everywhere I go, I get ads for flexible nib pens. That's how often I've looked for them. But anyway, what I was saying is if you're not comfortable with your drawing skills, make yourself do it, first of all. And if you want to replicate something perfectly, and I don't think this is cheating. I don't think tracing is cheating, and I don't think using aids is cheating. But make yourself a grid in any size, whether it's 1 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, whatever. And I just have this on like a sheet protector. Put this over whatever you're wanting to draw. Draw a grid out on your paper, and you can replicate this perfectly by just transferring, not the whole I mean, you'll finish the whole drawing, but just transferring what you see in that square onto your paper. And the reason it works so well is you're tricking your brain. You're not necessarily drawing a great horned owl. You're drawing just what's in that square. And so your brain doesn't have a preconceived idea of what that is. So it tends to draw more accurately. And if you've never tried it, try it, because you'll be shocked at your ability to draw. If you ever do it once, you'll never say, I can't draw again. Hi, Brandy. So honestly, try that. I'm not going to do it today. I'm just going to go ahead and draw. But for anybody who says they can't draw, that is the thing I would recommend over and over. Behave, everyone. Dee Dee's telling everyone to behave. That's pretty funny. And the cool thing about this drawing is she drew it dark, and she does a lot of the shading and stuff with graphite, which I love. I love graphite drawings, until you end up with a graphite drawing that would be good on its own. But then she goes ahead and does the wash with watercolor. And I've never done this, but I thought, well, I'm going to try. My initial thought was, well, draw it with the Graphite pencils that dissolve with water. I think I'm going to do this, where I do the actual graphite drawing and then just give it a wash, right? Stop it, Rachel. What's Rachel doing? Rachel's being bad. All right, so let's start drawing. I don't know how I can keep this in the picture and draw too. I'll try, but yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work, because I have to keep the focus you freak on here. Okay, so I do want the top of these leaves over here, so I'm just going to draw myself initially just a circle of about the size that I want things. The owl's head is above center, but about the middle of the page, right and left. So this will be the owl's head here, maybe a little bigger than that. And then the plant's coming down over here. Owl's body, and baby owl down here. And then over here will all be all the greenery. But I want to leave enough from the owl's head. I'll move him over here a little bit more. So that this greenery over here, okay. So now, you know, just by doing it that way, I kind of have a basic idea of where all my elements are going to be. I can always erase this, I can change it. But But you got to start somewhere. So at least get, you know, where you want your elements to be. And you won't spend so much time later throwing it away or whining about, I wish I'd done this different, or I wish I'd done that different. And then just start drawing in more of what you actually want. So draw along or don't, whichever you want. Yeah, and then as you go, you can just kind of erase so you know which pencils lines you want to keep. But when I start doing the graphite drawing, a lot of that's just going to go into the background anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Actually, my proportions came out pretty darn good. This Graph Gear mechanical pencil, I have HB lead in it, which would be the equivalent of like a number 2. But I did get out some other drawing pencils, so if I need some darker areas and whatever, I'll let the pencil do the work for me, right? And not uncommonly, I get kind of quiet when I'm drawing, so and his eyeballs are at weird angles here, so don't do what you think you should be doing. Try and draw what you actually see. If you have to erase, who cares? Because that eye's there. Yep, this one's going to have to be up here. So how many of you are thinking you're gonna do the postage swap? I don't want you to feel any pressure, for sure. Looks weird as hell. You finished yours. Way to go, CB. Robert must love it when I draw. You know, it's funny because Robert and I live in a fairly big house. And he has his man cave. And I have my room. And we only have to deal with each other when we want to, which is kind of cool. And if it's sunlight out, Robert Vaughn is outside. Robert does not spend any time in the house if he can help it. Should I take that personal? Okay, Devin's planning on doing it. Okay, Rachel's doing it. Mindy's doing it. Hi, Suzanne. Hi, Dorothy. Okay, cool. So it looks like we're going to have pretty good turnout. And your drawing does not have to be exactly like theirs, okay? Use theirs as a general idea of what you want yours to look like. One thing about using somebody else's drawing is generally they're fairly decent artists, so you don't have to spend a lot of time worrying about balance and stuff like that. So that's one of the advantages is if all you're doing is wanting to improve your drawing skills, don't feel bad about using somebody else's art as inspiration. I mean, I feel like that's why they do the books, right? This is actually what they're wanting you to do. And you put some money in their pocket, so who wouldn't be happy about that? A lot of this I'll refine as I go. But getting down those initial lines, I think, is, even though you end up erasing them later, it's time well spent. Sorry I'm not here a lot. You're 2:30 in the morning? Oh my God, Suzanne. If I'm anywhere at 2:30 in the morning, I don't know. Something is definitely going on. Okay, here's another drawing trick. All right, I don't necessarily care if mine's exactly like theirs, but I want the balance to stay somewhat the same. So when I'm getting ready to begin this leaf, I look where it is at in comparison to their drawing. Am I right in about the middle of the eye? Because we're going to say there's the eye. Okay, if I follow that over, I'm about there, which tells me my drawing is still, so far, doing okay. I won't have as much of that tree in the background showing, which is fine because I don't have the correct color watercolor paint anyway. How's that for cheating? I have a reasonable facsimile, so it's okay. Now I'm a little bit shaky because I just took that medicine. That's one thing. One reason I like to kind of take it early is if I take it early, the shakes kind of go away. That's why I hate taking the damn stuff. Alright, I'm going to check my phone. Diamond painting. Is that still as popular as it used to be? I know for a while it was just everywhere, but I haven't seen it for a while now. Shaking all over. Yeah, that's what the damn medicine does to me. Okay, just got a message from Amy. I'm glad I checked. Remember I asked you guys to drop a prayer for Amy, that she was suffering. She got COVID, actually. She's been in the hospital for the last 4 days. She's going home. She's not all better, but better than she was. She'll call later. All right, great news. Great news. So, glad to hear that. I'm going to move this little owl over here. I think I got him in the wrong place. Nope, bad place. Yeah, that's good news on Amy. She was never really bad. She wasn't, you know, ever in critical condition or anything like that. Just not able to keep her oxygen levels up. So, yeah. Happy for her. And the bad thing about this is they're trying to move. And they did hire somebody to replace Lane, so we're going to have new neighbors, which I hate because I love the ones I had, Amy. But I am really screwing this up. I need to think. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to have some new neighbors. And I don't necessarily like change. That's just the truth. So this is like jacking with my life big time. Not to mention that I really did just love Amy and her husband. They're the kind of people you want around. All right. Damn girl, pay attention. All right, and just because I just checked myself, and I kind of do it unconsciously, I don't even realize I'm doing it, but when I started to put his beak in, I was like, okay, where's his beak in relation to the bigger owl's beak? And I'm not too far off, so I'm feeling more confident now that my drawing is better than I maybe think it is. And obviously the owl's features, his eyes, stuff like that, those are the really important parts of the drawing. So if you're going to spend time doing anything, pay attention to that. Dee Dee's probably just sitting there going, oh my God, you poor thing. You honestly have the guts to do that on stream? What are you, stupid? You guys, I was laughing so hard at Dee Dee's this morning. I was in a funny mood, I guess. But anyway, some days I just find everything funny. I will laugh at like the dumbest thing. And this morning, Dee Dee was on, and Robert was getting ready to leave, go do some work for a neighbor, and he had on one of his nice shirts. I said, "You can't go work in that shirt." "Why?" "Well, because it's one of your nicer shirts. I mean, you don't have many because you ruin them, so you can't go work in that shirt." I said, "Go get just a regular dumb t-shirt that you've already ruined." And so he went and got one, and he came down to my room to put it on. And I said, "You're putting that on backwards." And then I don't know why I did it, but I said, "God, Robert, you got your pants on backwards too." And honestly, he checked to see if he had his pants on backwards. I must have laughed for like 30 minutes over that. It's just like, what possesses me to jack with his head like that, you know? Yeah. "God, you've got your pants on backwards too." And he actually had to look. I laughed for 30 minutes over that. I thought, he's so damn dumb. And he's not really. But, yeah. "God, Robert, you got your pants on backwards too." I swear, if I was him, I think I would move. I would move. I wouldn't even live here anymore. I'd just say, you're just too mean. I can't live here with you. You're just a butthead. And I'd have to say, "You're right." All right, I'm going to start working on shoring up some of these things that I know are right now. I'll laugh about that all day now. Telling Robert Lawn his pants are on backwards. Hi, Jeanette. Oh, God, Brandy. There was one time, I don't remember, I was at my first, what I consider my first real job, where I was making money that you could actually live on. And I was in my boss's office with one of our vendors. And Mark and I got along really, really well. And I don't know, it was a serious talk. I don't know if we were talking about renewing the contract or what exactly we were talking about, but it was a serious, serious conversation. And Mark, the vendor, and I started giggling. I mean, we were just giggling. And I couldn't look at him, and he couldn't look at me. And my boss was really kind of a straight-laced guy. And the boss just shut up and looked at us and said, "Are you done yet?" And you knew he was just fuming. He was fuming. He was mad as hell that Mark and I are sitting there laughing like freaking hyenas. But sometimes you just can't help it. At least in my world. I hate people who take everything so damn serious. Get over yourself. There's some things that you need to take serious. Some things you just don't. I don't think I have the curve of his horn right. So we'll fix that right now. Did Scooby-Doo come in? Hey, Scooby, I'm doing the owls. That's what I should have said. I couldn't stop laughing, you know. Who knows if I apologize later. But sometimes if you just get those giggles, what can you do? This is the prototype, Scooby-Doo. All right, this eye is weird. I'm not sure I'm crazy about it, but let's give it a go. I'm going to angle this up a little bit more and redraw the eye completely. I could have made this a whole lot easier if I had just done the graph drawing. All right, that's better. I think I did better there. That feels better. Okay, sweet. All right, looking in the camera, seeing, sometimes if you look in the camera, you can get a better idea. I think I have his face too wide, but we're going to go with it because I've got that too wide. I'm going to fix it. Screw it. If I don't fix it, I'm not going to be happy with it. So there you go. Because this eye actually starts right there. There, now I feel better about it. Yep, better, better, better. Sometimes the smallest thing can make the biggest difference, you know? Yep. She looks mad as hell, doesn't she? I could move that one in a little, but oh well. Okay, cool. And I'm not going to put in this detail down here. I do try when I'm doing graphite not to brush it with your hand. You'll spread the graphite, especially if you're using soft leads. So I try not to do that, and I do actually have a brush. All right, the rest of this we're all going to kind of leave, I think. All right, now I'll just get rid of some of the pencil marks that I don't want. And I don't care if they're all gone. A lot of them will disappear in the watercolor, so at least I hope. All right, let's look at this. All right. That looks kind of crazy and out of proportion, but that's exactly how it's shown, so. See, now my brain is trying to undo what I've done. I think I do have it too fat over here, though, so I'm going to move that in. That feels better. But when your brain starts doing that to you, either ignore it or check your work. Just make sure that still not okay with this eye. I think I don't have it round enough. We used to have a owl that lived around here somewhere, and he would commonly, you'd see him during the day. And I thought, what's wrong with that owl? Like, why is it out during the day? But you could hear it, not uncommonly, a lot around here. But I haven't heard it in a while, so I don't know what the deal is. If he moved out of the neighborhood. But he had the neighbor's chickens. He could have eaten all day long. All right, I think we're gonna go with this. Still, oops, coloring in the white of his eye, dumbass. Dee Dee could probably fix this in a second. This ear I don't have at the exact right angle either. Yeah, that's, I think, a little better. Well, his eyes are better now anyway. The left eye, not the right. Yeah, I probably have that one too big. Let's start over on that one. All right. So in relation to this one, if I like that one, and at some point we'll just say, screw it, we're going with it whether we like it or not. Because if I like the way this turns out, I will redo it on some nicer paper. And I'll probably grid the drawing. That help it? Could be, Rachel. Well, see, Kathleen, the problem with that is it's all over the lake. So it's not like it's just here. Like, it's everywhere. So it's not like he could move and get away from the weekend BS, because that's pretty much, that is our entire economy. It's all about the lake. So it doesn't matter where anybody goes. You're stuck with the weekend BS. Because it's all over the place. But we're getting closer and closer to the end of the summer. Now this little guy's eye is so different. Let's see, there's that little mark. Okay, so it's got to come across here. That's about right. All right. Hey, Orla, how are you? All right. Let's see what the next step is. We're going to say that's a decent enough drawing. Now in the background, and her drawing is real light, so I don't know. She just has a lot of squiggly lines indicating bark in the tree, whatever. But I'm going to change pencils, and let's see which ones I got out. I got out a B. I think I'm going to go ahead and use it. I need to sharpen. Ouch. Oh, I can't move my arm back like that. To do some of the texture and stuff in the bark. I'm not going to do a preliminary drawing. I'll just do it as I shade. Okay, CB's given me some free advice, and I will take it. The line from his ear covers more of the left eye on the original. Makes it look different. Oh, you mean on the big owl. All right, let's redo that, because when I erased it, I redid it. Okay. Yeah, I think you're right, CB. Let's just do it again. If you have to do it 10 times, do it freaking 10 times. Who cares? What else are you going to do? Cook dinner? Plus, I'm resizing it while I'm doing it, so... Turn them both upside down. Good idea, Dee Dee. Because that is a good drawing trick. Turn them upside down and you'll see kind of where you're goofed up. I may still have it just a bit too big. Does that look better? All right, the baby one. He's got dang goofy looking anyway, so this one, I've definitely got his eye the wrong shape. I'm going to have to change the name of this video and put Beginner Drawing 101. That's better. Thanks for the tip, Dee Dee. I probably would have thought of it if I was sitting here by my own self. Got his pupil about the right size. He looks cross-eyed. He really does, even in the original drawing. Maybe she corrects it later. Yeah, you don't think of everything when you're chatting. Okay. I've just got his head too fat, but I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to restart over because that would be being cruel to you guys. Because actually, well, I'm not going to mess with it. I'll just have a goofy looking owl. It's more just to see if I like the whole technique. Because I've not ever done graphite with the watercolor over it. Now, I've done a lot of ink with watercolor. We like fat heads and we cannot lie. All right. Hopefully you guys can see this, and I'll try and I don't think I'm going to use a tortillon to spread the graphite, but I am just going to make some texture. And this is going to be hopefully real light in the background. It looks like the whole thing right now, but by the time I add the watercolor, this is all going to be real light in the background. So, yeah, we're going to see how this works. I'm actually anxious to try it. And if you have ever done texture, like, you never do it the same twice in a row, so. Nice thing about graphite is if you get it where you don't want it, you just go in and erase it. And that's why I wasn't too excited about erasing all the stuff in the background, because I knew it was just going to probably all ultimately disappear anyway. Hi, Abigail. It looks like, because she didn't draw that up there, I'm going to have to look forward and see. Yeah, she kept it going all the way to the top. So I'm not going to have you guys watch that, because it would end up being that I'd have to do that for all this space up here. I'll just do it around all the elements that I'm going to end up painting. So, because I would like to actually get to some painting at some point. Know what I mean? Jelly bean. But while I was looking at all this stuff I needed to get out to do this drawing, and I don't have one of the colors that they recommend, and it is a really, really pretty color, so chances are this week I will have some new watercolors headed my way. 2 colors. And I haven't bought anything like forever. In fact, I told Amy this the other day. I couldn't believe it. I was paying the bills. And because last month I bought that gyro cutter or whatever the heck it was, and it was just an absolute piece of junk. So I returned it. And I don't think I've ever returned something to Amazon where they said, just keep it. We'll just credit your credit card. Well, I didn't want the piece of junk anyway, so I threw it in the trash, but I would have mailed it back to him. But anyway, got my Amazon credit card bill, and I actually had a credit because I hadn't bought anything in so long. I actually had a credit. I couldn't believe it. It was just like, that's awesome. So, yeah. Before I lose that line, I want to make sure it's in there good. I think when the paint gets on it, it's going to be really good. You've been off your feed. You need to shop. You know, if there was something that I really, really wanted, I would. And that's the crazy thing is I haven't seen anything lately that just really made me think, oh, I got to have that. So I don't go randomly shopping. I just don't. And even the other day when we went to Joplin, I was just like, I don't even need to go into Hobby Lobby or any of that. I think partly because I get so mad at myself for having the stuff around here that I have that I don't use. That really annoys me. And in fact, today I almost did magicals because I wanted magical papers the other day for something, I don't know what. And I'm pretty much out of at least magical papers that I'm happy with. So I almost did magical papers today. But if you guys had any idea, well, you probably do because you're probably all much in the same boat I'm in. I have so much stuff around here that I use infrequently that if I order more stuff, all I'm doing is putting pressure on myself for something else that I have that I don't use. Well, I'm getting old and probably a little bit senile and cranky, but I haven't lost my mind completely. Shut up, Dee Dee. She's gonna have a comment there. I can hear it coming. But I think that's part of it, is I get so frustrated when or even finding a place to put something, you know, it's just like, you need to calm down, girl. You ain't got enough room. And the thing is, I've never been a person that if I really wanted something that I wouldn't buy it, right? So that's why I have a lot of stuff, because I wanted to try it, and it's not something that I particularly enjoyed or whatever. So yeah, I think a lot of stuff, and I've given a ton of stuff away. Oh, and one of the granddaughters is coming in September by herself. I don't know if she's bringing her boyfriend or not. That's crazy, because I was just like, well, I wish she'd say whether or not he's coming. But yeah, she didn't say, and I don't care either way, but I'm hoping maybe she'll want to take some stuff with her, you know? Because the crazy thing is, I wouldn't mind giving it away, but the postage to mail it is so ridiculous. So sometimes getting rid of stuff is harder than, you know, anything. Last time, well, Michael's hasn't had anything new in, what, 2 years or more. You're getting rid of stuff too? Hi, Miss Barry. And it's not even like I'm on a spend freeze or anything. If there was something I really wanted, I would buy it. I really would. Thing is, there's nothing I need or want. Well, and it wasn't even that big, but for me, the last decent sized purchase I made was those Copic multi-liner pens, and I have to say that was a good purchase. I love them. Because I could always find an excuse to buy pens, right? But now that I've kind of grown attached to those and decide that I really love them, yeah, I'm not even shopping for awesome black pens anymore. Oh, woe is me, right? Sometimes when I find myself whining like that, I'm just like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? You sold your car last week. Good deal, Dot. Hope Robert gets in the mood to sell stuff quickly. Get rid of some of the junk around here. I'd be cool with that. All right, that should be good for the tree bark. That'll give us a good idea of whether or not this technique is going to be awesome in my world. And because I did it all much the same weight, I probably will go in and add some darker here and there. Of course, I can do that with the watercolor too. But if you look at bark on a tree, it's never all, it's rough, it's dark, it's light, it's whatever. So I will go in and add some dark here and there. And I can also do that with the watercolor. But then to keep it from being all kind of flat, to give it more texture, I guess, I'm going to go in here with a kneaded eraser and just pick up some. So it not only looks rough from the graphite that I put down, but also it'll have some different weights of graphite left. So Scooby, one of the things when you learn to draw texture, like knitting is a ton of fun to draw. Yeah, just, I have a book, I think it's called just Textures, but I don't know who wrote it. It's kind of mindless, actually, and drawing textures where you don't feel like you have to finish a product. But one of the funnest textures that I had drawing, honestly, was knitting. Denim is another really fun texture. So it's not just like this is different because I'm thinking, okay, what's it gonna look like when I get the watercolor on it? Because I've done a lot of the watercolor work already with the graphite. So it literally is going to be more like a wash now that I put on rather than actually painting the bark, right? Hi, Joannica. You out of here, Devin? I'll see you later. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. And I think the bark is going to continue, so I shouldn't come up with that straight edge there. I really shouldn't. I should make it ragged because later on I'll go ahead and finish all that over there. And I'll probably add some more greenery over in here too. Just depends. We'll see. And she actually did smooth it with a tortilla. Let's just do a small section, see if we like that. And I can't use that small one because I was using it yesterday. Man, my hand ended up hurting. It's not like I don't have a ton of them. Because she did smooth it here and there. So I guess to give it more texture, I'll do that a little bit. But I do want some of the white spaces left so that the watercolor has a space to go. The problem with doing the paper stump or their tortilla, whichever you want to call it, everything will tend to blend out and be flat. And that's what you don't want in bark, right? So I'll smooth it a few places here and there, but mostly I won't. Looking at the camera, it looks fairly good. I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, let's see what they're wanting us to go. Did the tree bark in graphite. I'll just go ahead and read you what she says about the drawing. So if you intend to do something like this, oak tree bark is very textured. In this illustration, it encompasses almost half of the drawing. It's also in the background, and I prefer to start with the background and work forward. This is partially why I choose to begin with graphite. I used a large HB pencil lead holder to begin blocking in elements of the bark, working in the direction of the surface, contour, and light source. The texture of the paper comes through the strokes. I wanted to be able to model the texture and undulate some areas to recreate the terrain of the bark. To do so, I used the point of a paper stump to get into areas behind the leaves. After the areas were smoothed over, I used a 2H mechanical pencil with a very sharp point to go into areas and make the edges crisp and defined. And that's ultimately what I'll end up doing as well. Hey, Brenda. And then she added, let me look at the end of this and see if I want to do that or not. Because I don't think, yeah, see, because I didn't do the bottom of the drawing, in her original drawing, she has Spanish moss down here. Well, I'm not going to do that, obviously, because it's not part of my drawing. This, however, is a branch that's coming over here. And so what I've done here, I will go ahead and do over here as well. Maybe just a little bit bigger because it's closer to you. So I wouldn't do the small texture like I did back there. I'd probably do it a little bit bigger. More pronounced, less subtle, right? And then I'll just go ahead and do it down here, and I'll do some of the Spanish moss because she went ahead, it looks like, and did all the bark. Now I'm only going to do this part, but the branch goes ahead and goes off the page like that. And if I like this and I end up doing it, I obviously will take more time. This obviously on stream I'm just doing quickly. But it looks like what she did on that is she smoothed it out with her paper stump. Where there was almost no white left in it. I'm going to leave a little bit because, yeah, you need the height, the lights and the darks. But to do that Spanish moss, and keep in mind there's watercolor going to go over this. But she went ahead and kind of made it all a little flat with just some darks and lights left. And I don't think my electric eraser has a bad, oh, it does. Let's see if this will work. I'm going to smooth that just a little bit more. Because after she got the graphite all down and smoothed out somewhat, right here underneath the bird, and this is just a cheap one. I do have a Derwent really nice electric eraser. I hardly ever use it. Which you want me to show? What the name of the book that I'm working out of is The Art of Botanical and Bird Illustration by Mindy Lighthype, and I got it at Hobby Lobby, oh gosh, ages and ages ago. This is, I think, the first project I've done out of it. So I'm just going through step by step. There's the drawing. Mine's kind of close. But ultimately, if I'm even halfway good, it'll come out looking something like this. So you can see I'm working down in this place. Of course, this has the watercolor on it, so it's different, obviously, than where I'm at in this whole stage. But I'm doing this Spanish moss hanging off the branch right here. And I didn't draw that little branch or that little branch. I'll probably go back and do that. But, yeah. So we're just going to do the Spanish moss real quick. And then, because this is the prototype for hopefully what will be a finished piece that I can make prints of or something, yeah, I'll decide what I like or not. So it looks like, excuse me, all she did here was, oh no, I'm going to like my other eraser better. Combo Mono Zero. Best eraser ever made if you want precision. But it looks like what she did was just draw, literally drawing with the eraser into the graphite, which I think is a really cool technique. I like that whole idea, because it just makes more sense than trying to draw this Spanish moss, right? And then it's going to become more pronounced. I don't know if you guys can see it. When the watercolor gets added. So this is almost like negative drawing. Put on the graphite and then draw with your eraser to get it back out. But it's just one more element in the painting, you know, so it's not like it's the main thing. And I've got enough graphite on here now that I'm going to have to start being really careful brushing it like that, because I am going to create a big fat mess that I'm going to have to clean up. So I'm going to get my brush out. Try and make myself quit doing that, because when I started using the H or the B pencil, yeah, that's when the graphite is going to create a mess for me. So can you guys see that? How the Spanish moss is going to ultimately end up. And I think she leaves this kind of light. And I'll have to add the shadows later. You lost your service dog. It's a challenge to get to the corner. I'm trying to pace myself to be relaxed outside by myself. Thanks, Dee Dee. That's got to be a challenge. You guys are making me think I need to stop and show some gratitude, because there are people out there who are really dealing with challenges that I can't even conceive of. So you guys are kind of my heroes that you can manage that, you know? So good on you. Alright, and I don't have room over here to do the berries. So when I do this next drawing to do the print, of course I'll use a bigger sheet of paper. I'm going to do this bottom here a little different so I can get the berries in, because that's going to add some color that I'm going to, I think I'd enjoy that and like that a lot. So that's one thing I'll do different. And then she has moss on here and some other things that obviously are below here, so I'm not going to end up doing so. Alright, where does she... All right, and so what she did after that, and I'll do this part because I think it's valuable. Let's see what other pencils I've got here. 2B, 2H, and 4B. 2H I probably won't use. That's a hard lead. 2B is going to be a little bit darker lead. Not sure I really want that. I'll just go ahead and use this. I'll just press harder. But what she did was she went in on the side and created shadows before she added the watercolor. So I think it's the little things like this that you just pay attention to. Because it's going to be really hard to go back in later and add the shadows here. So doing it this way really makes a lot of sense. And by doing this, you've already decided where your light source is coming from. Right? Because I'm only putting the shadow on the one side. This should really make it stand out, though. And because it's watercolor, the nice thing will be that in the end, I can go back and add some graphite on top as well. The thing about graphite is, though, over watercolor, you're going to end up with a matte surface. If you add graphite later, you might get a little bit of shiny, so just be prepared for that. But when the light hits it, you're going to see the shiny. Diana, you already have them done? Good on you. I can't even say that. And I will go back, when I'm all done, I will go back and crispen all the edges. And when I start doing stuff like this, I could spend the rest of the day doing nothing but this. Adding the shadows, taking them off, altering the bark. Like stuff like this, this is what I absolutely love. And I think that's why I like drawing with graphite so much. Is there's just, you can mess with it all day long. Hey Lena, I missed that you streamed last night. Dang it, I wasn't doing anything. I could have been there. Just reading what other parts of the book that I'm going to do or not do, as the case may be. All right, now she worked on the graphite on the owl, which is about where I'm at in this anyway, so. Sharpen. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'll start with the darks and keep using the B pencil. It was spontaneous, impromptu. Well, I probably would have missed it anyway because I wasn't anywhere near the computer yesterday, most of the day. I got in a cooking mood yesterday. So I made chicken enchiladas and egg salad. Yeah, I just got in a cookery mood yesterday. Didn't go anywhere near the computer most of the day. Actually, you know what I did? I guess I should be more specific. I was on the internet, but I was listening to an audiobook of the Gulag Archipelago. Alexander Solzhenitsyn. And if you have any doubt of how evil people can be, listen to that book or read that book. It's a huge book. I'm reading the abridged version of it. But yeah, I'm looking for a close-up of this little baby owl here. So that's what I did while I was cooking all day yesterday. Dee Dee, I think the paper, as close as I thought I had written it down, apparently I did not, but just from the feel of it, I'm thinking it's got to be Canson or Strathmore. It's not a horrible paper, but it's not the cheapest paper in the world either. Yeah, I wish I had written down what the paper was, and I know I told myself I meant to, but I just didn't. But it feels to me like about 140 pound Canson. Cold press. Which is nice because it gives you a little bit of texture just in the paper alone. And with the graphite, I'm trying to give the owl a little bit of texture. Not just drawing as a straight line. And then in here it looks like she's trying to give him individual feathers. And these can be more uniform. That's okay, Lena. I'll have something to look forward to. I'll go back and watch the recording. You know that book, Mary Berry? For those of you that aren't familiar with it, it's Alexander Solzhenitsyn was in the Soviet gulags, and the rest of the world didn't know or appreciate what the Soviets were doing to their own citizens in these gulags, and their treatment was absolutely brutal, and that's why you end up just amazed at how malevolent people can be. And I commonly listen to Jordan Peterson. I think he's a really smart man. But anyway, he had asked a question one time that, what makes you think that even during the reign of the Nazis that you would not have been one of the SS rather than the people who were attempting to help the Jewish people? Because I think we'd all like to believe that we would have been the person that helped the Nazis, right? And this is all historical. I mean, it's not necessarily political. I think it's something every human should know, what's gone on in our history, because if we're not going to repeat it, you have to know exactly how evil people can be. And when you hear that book and listen to that book, there's no doubt in your mind how utterly evil people can be. And I think we all would like to be that person, you know, the Anne Frank, or the person that made a difference. But the truth is, chances are we would not have been. We would have done what we were told or asked, whatever, because we want our lives to be better, right? So I don't know. It's one of those things that just makes you think. You just think a lot. I got to use the small one because I need a finer point. So anyway, yeah, just makes you think. We all think that we would not be those malevolent people, but based on what I'm seeing in society today, we would have. Takes backbone to stand up. You guys are probably thinking, God, there's so much better books out there. Why are you reading that garbage? Don't know. I might just barely get the drawing done today. I probably will go ahead and paint at least part of it. But at the rate I'm going, yeah, I may just barely get the drawing done. Thanks, Lena. Hopefully in reading this stuff, we won't become blind to what's happening in the world. Well, the thing is, I think you have to pay attention to history, and I think there's so much in history that we aren't taught, you know, that, yeah, that at some point you just got to recognize that it's your job I think I loved history in school too, but I think the history that I was taught, the third daughter. Thanks, Kathleen. I always like recommendations. I have a reading list that is, oh my God, it's frighteningly long. Okay, now I'm going to pick this up. I think I got the owl just a little bit darker than maybe I would have wanted, but anyway, I think the history I've been taught in school is woefully inadequate. Woefully. And I think that's why I'm, especially now, interested in going in and reading it. Okay, now he's going to be a light tan. The bark around him is going to be a dark brown. So even though it looks like I've got him much the same density, hopefully at the end it won't look that way. Because I'm just trying to give him a little bit of graphite texture. She did less graphite in the owls than she did in the foliage. Even today, many are trying to change things in our school history. Exactly, and so that's why I'm not sure. I'd probably listen to a podcast or something, and kind of told myself, girl, it's your fault you don't know this. You know, like I can get mad at what I didn't learn in school, but the truth of the matter is that now that I'm in my 60s and I still don't know, that is nobody's fault but my own. So if you want to learn that history, you better buy the books, get on the, well, I don't trust the internet anymore either, because they're scrubbing it. So you better buy the books and get yourself informed, because they're not teaching it in school, and I didn't learn it. Sadly, I did not learn it. Or there's another possible explanation. I might have been out in the parking lot getting high. So there's that too. Just saying. But actually, in history class, in high school, I had the best history teacher. I remember his name to this day, Mr. Hooper. I absolutely loved him. He could make history sound like a novel. Yes, I have read Wally Lamb's books. Yep, I have read Wally Lamb's books. Yeah, that's frightening, Kathleen. It is. And it's happening in the world around us right now. But it's kind of like I was just saying about being grateful and recognizing other people's burdens. You know, who wants to look into that? I mean, really, do you want to spend your days thinking about that? I don't know. I don't necessarily, but I feel like it's our duty. Now, what can I do about it? Well, I don't know. If I had the answer for that, I'd probably be a rich person. Or I'd run for public office. I don't know. All right, so I think I got the angles of his head. So much of this is going to be done with color down in here. So she doesn't do much graphite on his face. I just want to make sure that I've got the gist of it. The third daughter. I will absolutely get that this afternoon, Kathleen. See, I thought I had really great history teachers too, Miss Mary Berry. I did. I thought I had a pretty adequate history. I don't have a problem saying right now my history was woefully inadequate. All right, this owl about right underneath his beak, which would stand to reason, there's about a center line, and the feathers are going one way, this way. They're kind of curving out this way, and on this way it curves out this way. And I'm going to do most of that with watercolor, so. And then this is all white. I want to make sure I get this. Yeah, that's about right. And I'm going to change this because his wing actually blocks out part of that white, so that it's not just a big round thing on his chest. It's almost like there's rows. This mess over here is going to show if I don't clean it up, so. They don't teach much about, exactly, Kathleen. That would be exactly how I would say it myself, is that, yeah, they just didn't teach the icky stuff. And I have to say, my eyes have been really opened up reading some of this stuff. But I'm glad I'm getting to it, you know, before it's too late. And then sitting here drawing this out just makes me think how amazing God's creatures are. Both good and bad, really, right? This big part on his chest, I don't want it all real uniform. I'm going to very lightly put the strokes in here to jack with your brain to indicate to you how the feathers are falling, because I'll only be putting like a light tan maybe on it. And hopefully your brain won't see a lot of this. All right, it's 2 o'clock, so I've got about an hour. I'll probably still be sitting here working on this tomorrow. I'm liking it so far, though, you guys. I'm really happy with it so far. Hey, Z. Good to see you. I did, I think I said hi at your stream yesterday, but I was mostly lurking because I was cooking. I was being a cookery yesterday. So, I won't have to cook for the next few days. I'm going to check my messages here in just a minute. When I do the finished drawing, if I like this whole graphite technique, I will put something under my hand because I'm resting my hand here and I'm going to be moving that graphite there. So just so you know, when I do the finished one, I will be a little bit more careful with brushing the page and setting my hand down on it. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Tina said her internet went back down. She's a wicked wench. All right, let's see what we got going here. And then this one. And she's apologizing for not being here. Well, the rule here is the same as at Dee Dee's. If you can be here, awesome. If you can't, go live your life, man. That's what I'm about. And I'm not necessarily an owl lover, you guys. I like owls, but I'm not a huge owl lover. All right, and the feathers on his wings. Let's see how I want to do this. They're more like this. And I've never done wing feathers, so I'm making this up as I go along. And I'll do this more with the paint than with the graphite, I think. Poor Tina's been having internet problems all day. I used to have HughesNet. And if any of you have ever had HughesNet for your internet, you know how unreliable it was. And I was paying, like, back then, serious top dollar for that internet. I got where I would prorate. If I didn't have internet all day, I would just prorate it. And I think I didn't pay for more days than I paid for. And it was never, ever as fast as they said it was going to be when we signed up for it. And that was that satellite internet, right? Talk about frustration. But now that we've got Bolt, I have to say those people are on it. That night, I can't remember if it was on a day that I was supposed to be at Dee Dee's, or I don't remember. Anyway, a branch broke my internet connection, and of course I don't check my emails that often, so I didn't know that they had actually, the branch must have fallen at 2:22 in the morning, because when I checked my emails weeks later, of course, there was an email from my internet company saying, please notify us, we're showing that your internet is down. I mean, they were like on it. I was just like, wow, what company tells you you have a problem? But I have to say, Bolt has been awesome. If you have it in your area, it's a little higher. You might pay a little bit more for it, but honestly, I'm telling you, best money you'll ever spend. In all the months that we've had it, that was the very first outage we had ever had. Fiber optics, fast as hell. So if you have the opportunity, get it. Okay, I'm going to have to clean up these edges here real quick. Almost went shh on that graphite. Don't do it, stupid. They're wiring me up for Google Fiber Optics. Hope to have it later this month. Google Fiber Optics. I didn't even know Google was in the hardware part of it. I knew they were big in software, but I didn't know they were doing hardware. Doesn't surprise me, however. I might come back in these areas where it's really, really dark. I may come back and use ink on this. I'll just wait and see. But like his eyes that are black, probably the only way to really get that is with ink. So I'm going to do it in graphite now, but in all honesty, I probably will go back over this with into ink. Try not to push too hard so that I don't indent the paper if I have to erase or something, you know. I'm never going to get all of it off, but black ink will just look smoother. Well, I have to say, based on my own experience, you will love the fiber optic. I have to say, it's been awesome. All right, I almost touched that again. You'd think I would learn. I think I'll do it with this one. Well, that one's too dark. Never mind. I will, after I put this graphite down, indicating the direction of the feathers, I will pick it back up so that it will be there underneath the watercolor, but it won't be hopefully the first thing you notice, but I guess we'll wait and see, won't we? Because I'm going to have to really work with the watercolor on that. I need to finish his face too. And again here, I'll put the white highlight on with gouache, I think, later. And probably use ink. Or white colored pencil. White colored pencil will work really well over watercolor, it should, if I get it dark enough. Or ink. Thanks, Dabbler. Okay, his face is looking better now that it's got some contrast on it, right? That's another thing. If you're drawing and you're looking at your stuff going, something isn't right, doesn't feel right, sometimes you gotta wait until you get the contrast to give it depth for it to feel okay, you know? So yeah, I'm feeling better about it now, CB. And I think it really was the depth. In here on his face is feathers, much like the feathers on his chest down here. I'll just go ahead and add them real quick. Kind of rose. Only obviously much, much smaller. But that whole area around his eyes go out like that. And then it's about in here that the rows start. Thanks, Cheryl. Hi, by the way. All right, and the top of his head is kind of random. The feathers are growing out like this, away from his beak. But they're really different than any other place on his body. It's not the rose like this, and it's not the fluffy like this. It looks like just layers and layers of different colors of feathers. So I'll have to do that with the color. I mean, otherwise it would just, I'd be here hours adding little pencil marks. I'll just give it an indication here, and it's going to look much like that, but it won't be white. It will be tans and grays and browns. And then these, believe it or not, just go straight back. But they're a very different color, so. Who knew owls had so many different plumage? And if I'm doing a good job depicting it, that's the real question. We'll know better when I do the color. Hey, Jane. I think if I did this with a colored pencil, this project would probably take a full 3 days. Alright, let's see what I gotta fix with this eye. And the eyes are just probably going to look a little weird until I can get some color in them, because they're both of their eyes are actually a bright, bright yellow. So until I can get some color on here, they're just going to look kind of vacant. Nothing I can do about that, really. I'm going to try watercolor. This artist in this book, Art of Botanical and Bird Illustration, she's drawn this picture with this graphic underlay, or graphite, sorry, not graphic, graphite underlay. And I've never really done this, where you kind of put your shadows and stuff in, or your texture with graphite, and then paint over it. And I just, I don't know when it was, a couple weeks ago when I showed this book, Scooby-Doo said, draw that owl. So I thought, I left the book out, and I was just like, I bought the book, I've never really done anything with it. I'm gonna try. So today is the day. We're trying. And the thing is, you never know until you try, you know. It's not like I've been doing this my whole life. I haven't been. I actually had a job, raised a family. Well, I've always drawn, but I've never sat down and drawn like this.
I got wounded.
You got wounded? What the heck did you do?
Damn hood come down on my arm on the tractor.
Do I need to look at it?
Yeah, probably. It just put a hell of a place on me.
All right, time out. Take a break, you guys. I'm going to go see how badly he's wounded and see how big a Band-Aid I need. Let me look. Yikes, you don't need stitches. All right, let me, here, I'll fix it for you real quick.
You can tell that I'm perfectly clean.
Oh, God, Robert. I will not put alcohol on it. There's a part of me that wants to, but I won't.
I don't care what you do or not.
That's big enough that I'm going to use. Well, no.
You think it's necessary to do it?
No. You would be screaming like a baby girl. And all those girls over there listening, you would be laughing, saying, ah, what a crybaby. You did wash it though real good?
I didn't wash it real good. I used a towel on it to...
Is it hurting?
No, it feels real good. Dumbass, is it hurting?
trying to take your mind off it, little boy. You want a lollipop? I keep you from crying like a little girl. It's not as bad as you think it is, Robert.
Well, it was
The
way,
problem
it
is-
was deep though. It's way down in my.
It doesn't look deep. It's
It
more
was.
circuit, was it?
Yes, it was.
You put it all back together?
Yes.
The problem is you're gonna have is keeping the Band-Aid on. I'll cover it with Neosporin. And when you take this Band-Aid off, it's gonna rip all your arm hair off.
I know you put it on there a special way, so I'll really you know it when I take it off, aren't you?
Whatever I can do to help, Robert Bowen. I aim to please. Alright. Just don't let your tears get in it, okay? Alright, that will at least keep it clean, and then I'll probably put some gauze and tape on it after you're done.
Okay. Alright, I got probably another hour over there and I'll be done.
Alright.
Alright, thank you.
Keep your hands out from under the hood, goofball.
Yeah,
Look
well.
who's looking in the window. Alright. Hopefully that didn't take too long. He comes home wounded all the time. All the time. He'll live. He'll live. He'll live. Alright. I need a bigger eyeball. But it's surprising that this pupil in the drawing is actually so much smaller than the other one, but I'm going to enlarge it a little bit. Oh, he's okay. He just, it looks like the hood of the tractor just hit him on the arm. And I'm sure it felt like it went clear. Well, it probably did go clear to the bone. But honestly, it's not, it didn't break into him down to the meat. I mean, he'll be fine. He will be. But he comes home, wounded all the time, so it's not like this is unusual for Robert. I bandage him up constantly. Alright, so the rest of it, honestly, the top of his head is like a real, his or her, a real light kind of tannish, and there isn't much texture on there, so yeah. I'm getting real close to the water. Well, it's 2:30. Holy crap. Sometimes he'll come in bleeding, And I say, what the hell did you do? I don't know. He didn't even know when he's been hurt. The thing I hate is when he comes in smelling like freaking diesel. Ugh. I think I want to add more foliage in here too. I think I'm going to. Actually, I want to erase some of this in here because that's going to be hard to get rid of later. Okay, Jaden, then you get it. How did you manage to do that? I don't know. See, that is so boys. Especially boys who mess with tractors, four-wheelers, anything like that. Yeah, they come back in bleeding like crazy. Okay, let's see. These, no, I'm not going to get to watercoloring, I don't think. I've still got too much. Graphite to do. I don't really want to rush it because then if I wreck it, won't know if I wrecked it because I'm just stupid or if I... So maybe what I'll do is I won't actually do the watercolor. And next Monday, I'll go ahead and finish it. So it'll just be a two-stream piece of art. Now I've lost my favorite eraser. Oh no, got put in the wrong place. I was gonna say, so I may have to just quit streaming until I can tear this house apart and find it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to finish this next week. But the owl's face, after I got a little bit of shading and dimension, it looks a lot better, right? Yeah, the baby's still okay too. So, yeah, I'm feeling better about it, you guys. I am. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and I just won't even get the watercolor mess out. Well, I already got it out, but I just won't do the paint until next Monday, and next Monday we'll finish this. And actually, all the texture in the leaves, it looks like, is, she doesn't do it with graphite, she does it almost all with paint. So, other than give myself some lines, because the veins in these leaves are actually white. So, other than give myself some idea of where the veins are going to be, it's almost like I'll have to negative paint those in, right? and I'll be able to do a little bit of cleanup. And I will have the entire graphite drawing done, and then I'll just set it aside till next Monday. That's probably the best thing. Or use that nasty Frisket. Yeah, that probably is not going to happen, CB. I am not a fan of Frisket. I can't tell you how many little containers of Frisket I bought, and then when I want to go and use it, it's so gummy and crappy that it's not really usable. So yeah, no, you probably won't see me using Frisket. Probably not. Alright, the thing is, let's see. I should, and I didn't leave it, but I will here. Let's see. Well, it actually is behind there, so. Yeah, I'm just going to have to leave it. I think it was right in here is where I had left it. I'm just comparing my drawing now to the actual finished drawing. See how close I am. I'm going to add this foliage up in here. But this will give you an idea how close I am. I'm not too terribly far off, you guys. I don't know how I have that there. I'll erase it because otherwise it won't get erased out. And actually, I think this drawing is different than the one I did, but it's close. Yeah, same you with the Frisket. It's just not even worth it. But I'll go ahead and finish all the bark on the leaves over here. She added this foliage here, which I kind of like. I mean, you can tell that she messed with the balance after she did the initial drawing. So some of this I might go ahead and at least put part of it in here, going off the page. I will go ahead and add the foliage up here. This foliage is actually fairly accurate. Depends on how I paint it, right? I like the vines, how she did those in that kind of magenta. And all those little things are going to add a lot to it. What now? That owl in the picture looks as if he has a bad neck. Which one? This one here? I think she did a really good job of giving that dimension, making it look as though his plumage is sticking out further than his face, which is actually pretty darn true of owls. So I might add some more of the see how his feathers on his chest, or below his chest, his abdomen, I guess, really, kind of just go in waves. I'll probably go ahead and pronounce that a little bit better. But so much of this isn't going to happen until the color goes on it, right? But I'm actually not unhappy with the drawing and the painting so far. But I think I'm just going to have to, yeah, finish it next Monday. I'm excited to finish it. I'm actually pretty darn happy with the drawing. I don't think it's horrible. I think I've got the texture pretty accurate. Yeah, now we'll just see how I do the painting, if I can pull the painting off. One thing I will do is I wanted this to look like it was pushing out, but when I actually paint it, I'm gonna want those lines lighter, so I'll lighten them now because I know I'm gonna want them lighter. Another thing is I'm not gonna want this line where I was, because there is a delineation there, but it's not a line, it's your brain, I guess. So I don't want that on there. But yeah, I'm not unhappy with it. I think kneaded erasers are the best things on the planet. Yeah, the frisket rolls off. But Rachel, another thing too is I've had some frisket on some paper. Well, I'm not sure that I had the frisket brand, but anyway, that depending on the paper, it pulled off paper, the fibers, I guess, so that the smooth surface was no longer there. Which then, when the light hit it, created shadows, and yeah, it didn't do what it advertised, is what I'm saying. So I have to say, I've never had great luck with it. I've always been a little disappointed, which could very well be operator error. Not saying it wasn't, but I'm just saying that, yeah, I've never had great luck with it. Didn't find it that awesome. But I'm not ruling out operator error. Frisket is hit or miss. Yep, for sure, Mary. Like, I would be really uncomfortable using it on this paper. I think it would jack with the surface of the paper. Hot press, I think it'd be okay. But this, where you've already got the texture, yeah, I think it would create problems. It does degrade once it's opened. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So, okay, you guys, I can continue talking and taking up your time, or you can go on and do something fun in your life. Yeah, so the only other thing I was going to ask, Dee Dee has asked for prayers for her mom. I had asked for prayers for Amy. If you could keep my sister in your prayers. She's got a pretty serious medical diagnosis, not COVID related, worrisome for me. So if you could just send up a prayer for Martha, is her name. Yeah, we've all got stuff going on in life separate from arting. But yeah, if you wouldn't mind, I would definitely appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and watching me try and muddle through this as I learn along with you, you know. So, yeah. Go be grateful and be kind, and thank you very much. I love you guys. And I'll be seeing you next time We'll finish this next Monday. Okay, you guys. See you later. Bye. Adios, amigos.